Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Factorio with Warptorio. So yeah, I played some more. I don't know if we have a running timer here or anything. I'm on warp zone 41, so I've warped, like 40 times now. I'm about to warp again. I don't know how much of an indicator that is, but I will say that most of these warps have been pretty lengthy. I haven't done... I did maybe 2 or 3, like, quick warps. When I got to, like, a dead planet or something. So yeah, I got a little carried away, and I've actually set up purple science now. So we're about to get Automation 3 done. As part of that, I had to redo green circuits and red circuits to expand those a bit because purple science requires productivity modules. So you have to supply a decent amount of green and red chips for that. So I just finished setting up purple science. That was my first purple tech I just got. I also redid red and green science because I just wasn't producing enough green for a while. So I was like, okay, we can expand this a little bit. So, yeah. So basically, up through purple now is running. Purple is very much lacking, though, because of steel. And I need to redo my steel production and amplify that. And we just warped to a barren planet, so I suppose we will be warping again. There is really nothing on this planet other than rocks. Which is okay if you're looking for stone and coal, I suppose. And I am looking for coal, but not to the point where I would go around and pick up rocks. So, warp again. You'll notice some other things now. We actually have the warp reactor here. That we can load warponium fuel cells into, which I don't think I can make. I think we have to get, or maybe I can make? Also, we can make this. I don't know what it does. Oh, no, it teleports you back to the platform when you use it. That's pretty handy to have. Yeah, especially if we didn't have jetpacks. No, I can't make warponium fuel cells. I don't know quite... There it is. So it's the next reassembly project. And it's made using uranium fuel cells. Provides 32 gigajoules of energy. So basically we get kind of a special nuclear reactor. But it says that it's unstable and will destroy the planet it's on if left unmanaged. So try to build a rocket and get away. I don't know if that means I should just not use it. I don't know. I'm just leaving it sit for now. We also have a radar button up here, and that will consume a decent amount of power, but will continually scan the entire area around your platform. Pretty rapidly revealing the map for you, which is quite handy after you warp, because it lets you see without flying around, whatever. Again, especially if you don't have jetpack. You can see where all the big ore patches are. So, I don't remember the status of my smelter array. I don't think this was set up at the end of the last video. So this I did. And I basically tried to do somewhat of a conventional design with double stacked. So a full belt running in and getting split both ways, and then the coal getting split with it. So this has been working fine. I like this pretty well. In total, this can make 23 iron plates per second. Not a full red belt, but it's been good enough for me. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, if you think in normal Factorio terms, like, yeah, you're going to probably want like 30 iron plates per second. You know, by mid-game or whatever, you know, or before you launch a rocket for sure. But for us, everything is constrained. We're not building that much. You know, this amount of like science is not that much. This amount of red circuits is not that much. You know, we're simmered down a bit. So 23 iron plates per second is generally good enough. Yeah, but certainly our steel production is not up to snuff. I just have like 7 large stone furnaces and 1 steel forge, and that's creating about 1.3 steel per second, which is definitely not enough. If we look at all this, this is going to consume 7.5 steel per second. So getting up to 7.5 steel per second would require, oh god, 24 of these steel forges. I can't accommodate that. That is a massive amount of space required. I'd have to dedicate like an entire side here just to steel forges. And that would be a stupid amount of... That'd be 37 iron per second. So, yeah, this thing consumes way too much steel. We're never going to run it at full speed. So, whatever. I mean, I'm going to upgrade steel with something. I'm going to probably try and get these mega furnaces or something. Or maybe electric foundries. Probably the mega furnace would be pretty fun. Wherever that thing is. There it is. An oil planet. Well, we're still really good on oil, so that's pretty lame. Because that means that everything else, all the other resources are set to low for this planet. Everything but oil. So we're going to be able to find other resources, but the patches are going to be quite small. And I'm mostly looking for coal right now. So another thing is that this has been really easy on the biter side. You know, we do have several mods that add different biter types, like explosive biters, toxic biters. But compared to Rampant, you know, that's nothing. And Factorio Plus, the changes that it makes to ammo consumption and like the damage we do and stuff, I'm still running 1 assembler for ammo. And I've never even like had to think about it. Okay, that coal patch is minuscule. That is nothing. This is probably a good point where I should switch to solid fuel instead of coal. Like, we should stop relying on coal. The thing is, though, I still need coal for plastic and for... it doesn't really come up much, but military science. But yeah, for plastic, certainly I still need coal. I always will need coal. So, it's like, why should I switch off of it if I still have to go out and harvest it anyways? Yes, I mean, the other fuel is going to be far more efficient. Fuck. I'm tempted to just warp again as soon as possible. Huh. Yeah, just warp. I know I said that before, and now we're warping nonstop. So anyways, biters have been pretty weak. Not really a threat whatsoever. So I just threw in Bob's enemies as a potential mod. Let's just add some new, tougher enemies to the whole mix. Now it should add those mods, or add those enemies after I warp. Like, it generates a new world. So those should be in effect. But when you add multiple biter mods into a mix, it can sometimes just not make some of them, not generate some of them. It depends on, like, the settings for the different mods. Because you can have mods that just replace all biters, you know. Like, you know, like you can have that arachnid mod or whatever, where it replaces all biters with those arachnids. But then other times you can have mods that just like, okay, some biters will generate as these toxic ones. Some will generate as, you know, traditional ones, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know how Bob's Enemies specifically works in conjunction with these other ones, especially Factorio Plus, which seems to overwrite all of the base generation ones. I'm not seeing anything here that is new. I mean, we could fly around maybe and look. They might be further out. There's also a matter of evolution. Warptorio definitely plays a little strangely with evolution. Where I think it just kind of resets, like, every time you warp. It doesn't carry over. And so if you... And that's why Rampant is a little wonky with Warptorio. Fucking dwarf planet. It's basically the same thing we just left. I did see a setting for Bob's enemies that brings out bigger enemies sooner and, like, lower in the evolution scale. So we could turn that on. I'm not really bothered myself with not worrying about enemies. But you know, I'm doing Warptorio with Lego right now, and that's his whole thing, is dealing with biters. And the way that it is now, the way it's set up now with Factorio Plus and stuff, he will just be out of a job. There's really nothing to ponder here. I'll just destroy this nest real quick. Okay, we got coal down there. Big coal. So I was hoping to try to find some solution where we wouldn't have to restart. But we could make biters a little bit trickier, a little bit more involved. I continually lose these fucking burner inserters, and I have no idea where they go. Okay. Honestly, if I was to start over, for the purposes of Warptorio, I'd probably just disable Factorio Plus. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Oh, I see big iron down there. Big iron. I don't really see big copper anywhere, though, unfortunately. That's probably okay, though. Okay. Oh, no, we set up copper already. So I'd probably just disable Factorio Plus because it changes too much with the way that ammo and guns and turrets work. If I was playing with Rampant, you know, I probably would welcome the change. If I was playing a normal non-Warptorio game with Rampant, I think it would be fine. But yeah, it trivializes Warptorio in that aspect a bit too much. And it does add a lot of stuff that's not related to that, but really, it doesn't add anything that another mod can't add. You know, if we think about the stuff that Factorio Plus has given us, like water wells, there's other mods for that, of course. All the new types of turrets that can easily be found elsewhere. Loaders, easily. I mean, there's like 5 other loader mods at least. Warehouses and storage, you know, you can easily get AAI warehouses or whatever done. Which is, I mean, I normally play with a lot of these other mods anyways. I just thought, oh, Factorio Plus kind of puts it all in one place, which is nice, but it's not necessary. Miniaturization, there is other mods for this. I've never played with them. Just making small assemblers that can only handle a low number of ingredients, or can only make like intermediate products and stuff. I actually have not made any of these here. Which you'd think this would be like the ideal use case. Cramped quarters. But they require 2 efficiency modules, and I just never bothered to make any. I'd have to design a blueprint, whereas I've just been taking other blueprints that fit and making them work. The larger smelters, I'm pretty certain these all exist in other forms, and the Mega Furnace that we're trying to get is not part of Factorio Plus. That's part of the Mega Furnace mod. So, you know. There's some other things, you know, that Factorio Plus does add natural gas that you can use, steam vents. Again, there's like a billion mods. There's so many Factorio mods. There's not really, I don't think, any original idea in Factorio Plus. It just kind of consolidates all of it. I think it's a very solid mod. I'm just kind of curious as to why it would even touch like ammo consumption and ammo, bullet damage and stuff. Like, what is the point of touching that? And if you are going to touch it, make it like a option. And that's the biggest problem I would say with Factorio Plus is there's no settings of any kind. That's weird. At this point, I'm kind of too far in, and I don't care that much to just disable Factorio Plus like mid-save. But we might attempt that in our co-op game, because otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have not represented Warptorio that well, because it's not this easy. It's really not this easy, and I'd love to. Actually, I might have another save. I don't know if it'll load. I'd have to. So I've got some old. Like, here's my Warptorio Rampant playthrough. I mean, that doesn't look like I have that many more defenses either. What the hell was I doing with this shit? Oh, you know what? This, I think, was our co-op attempt at Warptorio, and this was Lego's big ammo production. So this was Lego's doing here. This is his defenses. So you can see like how anal he was about making just massive amounts of, I'm pretty sure, piercing rounds. And here, okay, so here's some of my defenses playing solo. I don't even know if this includes rampant or not. Okay, it did. Yeah, so that's with rampant, and that's just, yeah, walls of turrets. I don't even have flamethrowers up. Yeah. This must be old or something. It's kind of weird. But yeah, this is so this is early game. You can see the size of our platform there, co-op, and that's like how many turrets we needed for rampant. Um, yeah, I mean it's quite nuts. So I think this really just nullifies half of the entire challenge and fun of Warptorio. And with Lego and I, we're only like a few hours into our current run with Factorio Plus enabled. And already, like, you can tell that it's not going to be that difficult. So, yeah, I'm going to have to think of some solution to that. Anyways, we need to solve steel. I need to figure out just a location. That's the biggest issue right here, is I don't have a good location for steel. I mean, what are we really looking at? If we go with this, we don't want more than 15 iron per second going in. So something like that, which would be about 19 of these large stone furnaces. And that would give us 3 steel per second. So where am I going to fit 19 of these large stone furnaces? Well, I guess we could just wait and try and get the mega furnace. Which is not going to be cheap to make, but crafting speed of 10. Basically, I only need like 1 or 2 of these, and we're good. But yeah, electric engine units, I guess I could start just making some of those. Let's see here. Boom, boom. And there we have electric engines being made in very slow, small quantities. But that's alright. We can just fast forward. And then low density. Oh, we need aluminum. That's another thing that I don't like. So Factorio Plus basically for co-op is going to make Lego's job trivial and my job harder. Like as we get later into science, like, we have to start making this. So I have to include glass and I have to include aluminum, which means I also have to get bauxite ore, and just makes my job even more difficult. And my goal was to make my job easier and keep Lego like entertained. That was the goal of, you know, the whole experience. So yeah, Factorio Plus is probably gonna have to go. A lot of mods you can pretty much just rip out mid-save. You know, things that no longer exist will just disappear and stuff. It usually doesn't break saves. It's not like RimWorld or something. Factorio is pretty stable. But yeah, the idea of getting into glass and silicon wafers and shit just to make blue chips does not appeal to me, because I've never finished Warptorio anyways. So I'd have to go get bauxite in order to even make low densities, in order to make mega furnaces. Fun stuff. What I'd probably do right now then is just like set up some burners and just grab some bauxite just to work with it. So literally just, oh no, but this requires fucking sulfuric acid. Oh god. Oh god. So it means can't be burnered, has to be mined properly. And it's basically like uranium, which I often just ignore when playing Warptorio because I don't like the extra logistics of handling sulfuric acid. Really what it means is, like, I'm never going to set up the harvester platforms to handle that. So it has to go through the teleporter. And it's not that big of a deal. Making sulfuric acid is not that big of a deal, and we just pump it into one of these side pipes. It's just annoying is all. And so, yes. Oh, we got another factory floor upgrade. Even bigger. I don't know. I imagine it eventually connects. I'm not sure, actually, but it seems like it's going that way. And so this will just be one massive floor, which would be great. I mean, that's plenty of space. Anyways, so we just want to piggyback off of this sulfur. No, that's dumb. Don't do that. And then we need to get iron plates over here. That's simple enough. There you go. You have sulfuric acid. Okay. Let's, tear that down. You can really see our total rate of coal consumption right here. That's how much coal we're consuming. Which is, you know, a decent amount for sure. Okay. So now we're gonna go get our bauxite. So I can have... I just want to see the mega furnace. I want to taste it. I want to see and taste it. It's annoying that it requires... I'm about to lose power. Ugh. It's annoying that it requires... aluminum. Or... No, I guess it doesn't. It just requires low density, and low density was changed. That's all. Still annoying. Productivity is pretty good. Alright, so we got our stupid shit. And to make one of these, we need 20 low densities. Jesus, they are not cheap. Oh god, it's gonna be... We're gonna get one. We're gonna get one, and we're gonna look upon it and be pleased. I don't have the steel to make these yet. I need the mega furnace to get the steel. Okay, that'll be 12. Enough. It's 18. $20. Go. Okay, now we just have to wait an excruciatingly long time. Yeah. That's good enough. Yeah, I know. It wasn't that bad. I'm just a big whiner. Fuck. But the nice thing about Factorio is that you can just set things up once and then it's good for like many hours. You know, you set up like a big iron mine. You don't really have to think about that iron mine for a long time, typically. I mean, I've never gone like past the rocket, so I'm not a mega base guy or anything like that. So for my purposes, when I set up an iron mine, I'm good until I launch a rocket and beat the game. But with Warptorio, especially if you start adding in more resources, you're just constantly like flipping things around and resetting things up, and oh no, and now the teleporter has to go to coal, and now the teleporter has to go to oil, and now it has to go to bauxite ore, and oh god. There isn't much set it and forget it in Warptorio. Yeah, we're good. We're on a dwarf planet, so there's very minimal action. We can basically just run this for a while. Also, we've gotten enough upgrades to our reactor that there is no auto warp anymore. So we can stay on a planet as long as we want. And based on the, the incoming attacks that you can see here, we can be here for quite a while. This is 43 minutes into this planet, and that's what we're getting hit with. Yes, the resources aren't too hefty, but still. Okay, mega furnace. What do I need? I need more steel. I need blue chips. Oh, God. That's right. No, mega furnace. Okay, blue chips. So this is where sulfuric acid and the silicon wafers come in. Luckily, we can make all this. Let me grab that. Need some red chips. Thank you. And then we need, so I've got some glass. This has to be cooked. Okay. So what that means then, if I want to do automate blue chips, which is pretty important for beating the game and launching a rocket, I need to automate glass production in order to automate silicon wafer production. And that means that I need large amounts of sand. So I need to constantly bring in large amounts of sand into the base, which is another thing that I have to keep resetting up the teleporter for. So right now, I'm using the teleporter for coal, oil, stone, actually, for purple science, bauxite if I want to get more aluminum, and then now it would also be sand. Now, you can, I think, no, you can turn sand into stone. I don't know, actually, I mean, yes, okay. So if I got the high-powered machine press, I could turn stone into sand. So then that would nullify that. I would just have to bring in large amounts of stone all the time. But still, it's like, give me a break. And I know some people play Warptorio with, like, Crastorio 2 added on, which is nuts. I've seen some people play with Bobs and Angels, which is even more nuts. I don't know how people do this. I can't even play Bobs and Angels normally. I don't have the mental capacity for it. But yeah, it's and I've said this before that I prefer playing Warptorio with Lego. I prefer it as a co-op experience, even though, like, I basically don't do anything for defenses here. So it's like I'm pretty much just doing half the work that I normally would do anyways. But I don't know, there's just something more exciting about it when the bugs are a big threat and, you know, we constantly have to kind of work together. And even though I'm not, like, directly involved with, like, setting up turrets and managing ammo and stuff, I do contribute a lot to that. Like, I handle all the infrastructure so that he can keep up our defenses, and it's just a much more exciting experience. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I need more. I need more. So I need to hook this. Yeah, just cook it all. Cook it up in a skillet. We're gonna get our mega furnace. That's gonna count as like beating the game, as far as I'm concerned. If we get one mega furnace going. Okay. I still need more steel. Okay, and I need some copper. Mega furnace. It will take a while to handcraft. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's an unknown sound. Oh, my teleporter. Okay, yeah. That's fine. We have it. We have the mega furnace. Okay. It's just slightly bigger. What? Okay, now that's bad. What is happening? Our copper got hit hard. Must have ran out of ammo. Shit. Doesn't really seem like it ran out of ammo. It just got hit hard. These big spitters, I imagine. Yeah, those are a little trickier. I can go deal with the nest. There you go. Okay. Mega furnace. I'm gonna set it up here. Yeah, mega furnace. It doesn't even need coal. That's right. It's an electricity-based system. Boom. 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 Once we get some speed modules in there, it'll be cooking. There you go. This thing alone is 0.6 steel per second right now. Let's get some speed module 2s. Let's grab this. So I'm gonna need more of this. Okay, there's 3 speed module 2s. Boom. Oh, yeah. It's cranking. Now it's making 1.1 steel per second, all by its lonesome. Boy, if you had 10 of these, that would be an absurd amount of iron. Nearly 60 iron per second going into 10 of those, but, jeez. Nearly a yellow belt of steel coming out. Pretty sweet little devices. So all told then, our steel production, 2.5 per second. So right now, with all that, I'm making a third of what I need to run this purple-sized blueprint. And I think Factorio Plus has changed some recipes. I don't know specifics for everything, but the one thing I can tell you is that this blueprint does not run as intended. And that's because normally yellow inserters are crafted in half a second, but now it's changed to 1 second. I don't know why, but it throws off the ratio, so it can't run all the green science at the same time normally. What else has been changed? I have no idea. That one I just specifically noticed. Yeah. So going forward from here would involve a yellow science, which would involve basically all the stuff I just complained about. I'd have to get aluminum going. I'd have to get the silicon wafers going. A whole big shit pack, and that would obviously change any blueprint that I'd come up with. And then the flying robot frames, batteries, and I think batteries. Okay, batteries weren't changed. That's good, but yeah, it would be a shit show. So I think we're gonna be leaving it off here, and we will blame it on Factorio Plus. Like I said, I think it's a fine mod. I don't think there's too much original there. If you want to take the time, you probably certainly can find a bunch of other mods that replicate or improve on all the things Factorio Plus has. But if you're lazy and just want to grab a one mod fits all situation, yeah, it's pretty solid. It's got some fun stuff in it. The artwork, the images, some of the stuff is still like placeholder. You know, they don't have images for everything. Yeah, and they go into like module 4s and stuff. Again, nothing here is an original idea. There's plenty of mods out there that go up to like productivity module 9 or something like that. But anyways, so yeah, Factorio Plus not too shabby, but especially the lack of settings of any kind, and the fact that it changes some things that really don't need to be changed. Yeah, you know, it could be improved. And maybe it will be. As for Warptorio, still a really fun, different experience. I mean, I don't obviously recommend it for your first time playing Factorio, but if you've played Factorio a bit, you're looking for something fresh, yeah, Warptorio is really good. That doesn't like, it doesn't complicate things. It doesn't add like new recipes. It doesn't change how the game functions as far as science and things like that. It just changes how you approach launching a rocket, and gives you some interesting constraints to work with. And again, especially, I think it's like a 2-player co-op sort of challenge. Really good. But yeah, probably don't combine Factorio Plus with Warptorio. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're seeing any of Bob's enemies. So, I mean, I could just let this run, I guess. We are seeing some bigger stuff. We actually should be seeing, like, behemoth biters and stuff before too long. So if we leave this run for long enough, we will see some scarier shit. And I think, yeah, if I let it run long enough, we will be overrun. Like, I think that's still very likely. Just takes a long time. Funny, only now are we actually seeing damage to these platforms that don't have any walls, have the turrets on the interior, so they have limited range compared to the, you know, stuff shooting the miners. And they're still using basic ammo. Pretty ridiculous. Let's pick that for now, because it's... Yeah, I just wanna let this run at full speed and see how big we can get. We are on the dwarf planet, so that does affect stuff. But we should still see big stuff. Evolution is still going up. Ah, there we go. There they are. The behemoth spitters. Look at them. Look at them. Look at the size of them. And they hurt, and they spit from fucking far. They're actually outranging our base turrets. We'd have to get upgraded turrets. Or, I mean, we'd have to get the veterancy bonuses for them to outrange them. So that's where you'd want to start looking into sniper turrets. Big behemoth biters. Big boys. So how much does it take to kill a behemoth biter? Okay, I mean, that's certainly a bit more. So yeah, like I said, if I just let it run, we would be overrun. Absolutely. But that's the thing. You can always just warp, and then it resets, and you're back to little baby biters again. And considering we've been here for about an hour and a half, it's a long time. But yeah, I mean, even at this point, though, like if Lego had been playing this whole time, focused on defense, I mean, his turret walls would be immense, you know? And I don't know if explosive ammo is better than piercing. I guess it is better. Except this does piercing damage, this does explosion damage. You would have to look at some of these biters to see, like, what their resistances are. Which is always a shit biscuit. Explosion, 25%, 425, piercing, 220. So, yeah, for the big boys, piercing is probably the way to go. But yeah, I mean, he would probably have wall-to-wall turrets, all filled with piercing or explosive or something like that. Or he'd also probably be using more of these modular turrets, especially like the Gatling turrets, that can just shred anything in sight, but piss through massive amounts of ammo. Yeah, I mean, I remember playing. We were doing Warptorio Rampant, and his goal was to have like 2,000 piercing ammo on hand at any time. And it was, you know, kind of brutal, sure, but it was always like engaging. Whereas at this point, he would have nothing to do for large amounts of time. So, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to leave it off there then. I know we didn't launch the rocket. That's okay. Uh, that's okay. I gave you a good taste of Warptorio, what it's like. And, like I said, Lego and I have done a number of streams, co-op Warptorio, if you're interested in checking those out, where it's definitely more hectic. And we also got to look at Factorio Plus, which is, yeah, you know, I said my piece. Factorio is a damn good game, though. And I think the next time you'll be seeing it from me is with the DLC, the expansion, Space Age. Um, that will be something that, you know, it's going to be very unique for me because I basically never play past the rocket. I did once. I did space exploration, and I put like 100 hours into it, and I did get to space, but I don't think I ever made it to a different planet. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to just see like how much time it takes for the average person to beat the DLC. Because I think the average person to launch their first rocket ever, and the average, at least according to like how long to beat, and which I kind of agreed with, was like 49 hours. So from when you first fire up Factorio, the average amount of playtime until you launch your first rocket is 49 hours. And honestly, that's probably not far off from my experience. Because I'm pretty sure the time that it took on my save, the save file where I finally launched a rocket, was like 22 hours or something. But that was not my first attempt. So, yeah, that's probably believable. So 49 hours just to launch a rocket. and now you're talking about adding an expansion where you're launching many rockets and going to many other planets and stuff. It's like, oh my god, space exploration takes like 400 hours or whatever on average. So yeah, we'll see. I don't expect it to be quite as tedious as space exploration, but it sounds like a lot of content. So we'll see. But alright. My name is Mangg. This has been Factorio with Warptorio. And I'll see you fine folks around.